My name's Jonathan Ames. I've been leading digital marketing teams for 20 years. I'm going to share a series of 5-minute experiences to help you unbreak what's broken in most marketing engines. Today, we're going to talk about split testing. Split testing is broken when your marketing team doesn't test variations side by side to see which works best, or only some team members split test, or only one or two things are ever split tested. There's no log of what has been tested and when. There's little or no sharing of results with others within the team, and test results are not checked fast enough. And there's no ongoing addition of small improvements to see overall ROI. What are the costs to your team? Every time you skip split testing, you miss an opportunity for gains. If you only split test a few things, you limit those gains. If you don't track your results, you won't realize the cumulative gains and may stop. And if you don't check tests quickly, you may lose unnecessary gains. And if you don't share results, others may make mistakes that you've already learned from. Why is this worth solving? First, the time necessary to run a split test is usually only minutes and yields cumulative learnings that will make each later test yield higher. For instance, if you only have 5 persons in your team and each person was only able to improve things by 1% per month, that would yield a 60% cumulative improvement in results over a year across the whole team. That's a large improvement. However, you won't see it as that because it'll be every person with small improvements. But those small improvements add up, and it is worth the time to take to do that. How can this be solved? First, you have to commit as a marketing team to split testing and set goals for the number of tests you're going to do. This is probably the easiest part of it, is just gathering your team to unite for this purpose of split testing. And the ways you can do this are to perhaps have a meeting and show some of the advantages of split testing, perhaps do training to show how easy split testing can be done, and most of all, to show how cumulative gains that are small over time really do add up. So once you've committed as a marketing team to the idea of split testing regularly, you need to share what you tested as a team regularly, both the good and the bad. If you are a marketing leader and you're in charge of this group, it's really important that you share the results of split testing that you do, including and probably more especially the split test results that don't do well as you planned. This will liberate your team to feel free to try things that may not work, but which give them the opportunity to possibly influence one of these small changes and maybe even a big change. Another thing you need to do is give kudos or gifts for testing. Even split tests that are worse teach you something. They teach you not to do that thing. So these kudos that you give your team could be important. It could be some kind of bonus. Maybe you have some gifts that you purchase at the beginning for the person who completes the most split tests or is the most regular. The next thing you need to do is log your cumulative results and revisit them quarterly or yearly. This is important because most split tests don't produce a large difference or any difference. Your team is going to have to get in the habit of doing this even when they don't see a whole lot of results. But even small improvements, if you add them up at the quarterly level or the yearly level, start to turn into something worthwhile. You need to use software or processes that make it faster to split test in more places. Then finally, you have your team try small and breakthrough level split tests. So sometimes these split tests that are done are only really small and they'll only yield small or no differences, simply because your team is afraid to get too far off the beaten path. But sometimes there are breakthroughs that you can only make if you try something radically different, because those might be the things that take you instead of from a 1% improvement to a 10% or a 50% or a 100% improvement. So empower your team to be able to do both of those types of tests. So now you know how it's broken and how to fix it.